I've said for a really long time now that I was going to make a video on my flower clips that I call blossoms, and sometimes this is new, but sometimes if you run your finger along the edge here, you'll see that they'll kind of fray a little bit. They're heat set, but they do fray somewhat, and it just, after a while, sometimes that happens just a little bit. It's not a ton because the edge there is raw. So I'm going to show you what I do. These are some new ones, like I said, that I just made up, and I'm going to show you how I trim them down. I use a pair of embroidery scissors, which are right here, these little guys. And what I do is ever so carefully, my hands are a little shaky, but ever so carefully around the edge, I just shave it back, basically, with the scissors. I'm not really cutting the flower, I'm really just shaving that little part. And sometimes I have to get, hopefully you can see this very well, but I'm just going to go all the way, get those little fuzzies off, and what this does is it gets it all the way to the edge there. I use a heat seal material, and it does seal the edges, but the very tip there doesn't get the material all the way. So these little bits just these little bits just pop up a little bit, and it's just a little tiny fuzzy. No big deal. We can trim those away, and then it's all good again. So if you don't like the fraying, if it bothers you, you're welcome to trim it back like this. Like I said, just use a pair of embroidery scissors I like because I can really get in there. So they just, and they're really sharp too. So, oops. See, and sometimes you kind of have to bend the petals back a little bit just so you can see what you're doing. So, but be careful. It is really easy with really sharp scissors to cut the flower, and then your petals will be all distorted, and you don't want that. But I typically do this before I send them out so that you really don't have to worry about it. But if some of these prints, especially if it's not like a regular twill fabric, will start to fray just a little bit. So this guy is done. Maybe just do a little bit more on this corner here. Nope, that's about it. So that one's done. Edges are clean. You can see, my camera focuses, how clean the edges are. Oh, there's a little one that I missed. Let's get that little guy. And there you go. So that's how you do it.